Hello, wonderful person. Welcome back to Recap Hub. Today, I will explain a mystery thriller from 2019 titled Only. Let's find out what happens when a man and his girlfriend go on the run as a mysterious disease threatens to wipe out the entire female population. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. The movie opens on the day 400 of the infection. Will is seen crying on the sofa while Eva is having a bath. After Eva gets out, she takes a test to see if she is positive. But before the result may appear, a few soldiers arrive at their doorstep. Will hides Eva in a secret section of their bed, after which he approaches the door. The soldiers order him to step aside and order Will to sit in front of them while they check the apartment and his identification card. Will lies to them and informs them that he has been living here with his girlfriend Carolyn, but she has died of the infection. The soldiers question him about Eva, and he replies that he has not heard from her since she left to see her parents in England. One of the soldiers finds the test kit and asks Will to justify it. Will informs them that the kit is for him, as the men are also the carriers of the disease. Suddenly, another soldier summons the Sarge to a room, and he orders Will to lead the way. When they arrive in the room, Sarge looks at the pictures of many women on the wall, and Will tells them that these are the few he knew. Sarge declares the apartment clean, and when they are leaving, he tells Will that the girl he is trying to save is infected, and he is not going to take her as he knows what they do to the infected ones. After the soldiers leave, Will is sitting sadly when Eva arrives and asks him to get ready to leave the house. The duo starts packing their belongings, recalling the time they have spent together. Eva and Will are on their way out when they stop after listening to the warning of the curfew. They stop outside a superstore, and Will asks Eva to keep quiet while shopping, as he doesn't want anyone to know that Eva is a female, as she is disguised as a man. When Eva and Will are shopping, the shop owner becomes suspicious of Eva and uncovers her head. Will points his gun at the owner and forces him to lie on the ground, warning him to stay there until they leave the place. Will gets mad at Eva for not listening to what he tells her, while Eva is sad at her condition, and recalls the day when she was with her friend Carolyn at their apartment. Carolyn informs Eva that she will be out with girls at night, and that she can spend her time with Will without any problem. Eva blushes at this, and tells her that she doesn't need to do this. In the following scene, Eva and Will are together when Eva shows her desire to visit the waterfall. They have visited a long time ago, and Will agrees with her. The next morning, Will prepares a breakfast for Eva and gives her a surprise, mentioning the day when they went on a road trip and bought animal hats. He also mentions that it was the same day when they decided to move in together. Suddenly, they get distracted by the thunder sound, and upon checking, they find snow everywhere, and upon close observation, Will finds that it is not the snow. At the same time, Carolyn steps inside with her ears bleeding and falls unconscious. The scene shifts to the present day, where we see Eva waiting inside the car while Will gets a room for their night's stay. Will and Eva spend their night at the hotel, and the next day, Will ties her breasts tightly to make them look like boys. After that, they are seen outside a restaurant when Will informs Eva that the restaurant is still empty, but that it's a stupid risk to go inside and have breakfast. But still Eva insists. Will and Eva get inside and order their breakfast while the owner becomes suspicious of Eva. Will gets scared when two men step in and start watching the news. The news reporter mentions the result of the artificial repopulation method and announces that the reward for reporting a live female has been increased to 2 million. Will gets confused and orders the bill, but before the bill may arrive, Eva starts bleeding from her ears, and Will rushes away from there with Eva. The owner is worried about the bill. A man named Arthur pays their bill and orders his son, Casey, to get ready while noting the number of Will's car. Will again gets mad at Eva for mentioning that the infection starts with hemorrhaging and will slowly lead her to death within a week. Eva orders him to stop the car and cries in the woods, but then she gets the keys to the car and drives to the location of the waterfall they wanted to visit. When Eva is getting ready, Will questions her about whether it is necessary for her to eat, and Eva requests him to enjoy and find their waterfall. When they start walking in the woods, the scene shifts to the day when Eva and Will brought Carolyn to the hospital. Eva and Will are worried about Carolyn until Will finds many patients coming to the hospital and notices that all of them are women. Will approaches Eva and asks her to come with him as they are going to leave the hospital using a covered way to the garage. Eva denies wanting to leave without Carolyn, but Will tells her that they have done what they could do for her and asks her to look around. He convinces Eva to leave, and they leave by hiding the covering suits from the hospital. On their way back to the apartment, Eva's father contacts them and guides them about what they need to do to quarantine themselves. Eva and Will arrive at their house and completely sensitize it, after which Will locks Eva in a protected room. On the present day, Eva asks Will to walk faster with her, and when Eva is taking pictures, Will asks her why she is taking these pictures. Eva tells him that she is not the only girl in this world, as she is not that lucky. Next, Will is standing alone when Eva hugs him, and he starts crying, thinking that Eva is going to leave him. The next day, Eva awakens and finds herself inside the quarantine, and Will explains to her that the virus has entered the water, so they will now use only boiled water and canned food onward. Suddenly, Eva receives a call from the hospital and learns that Carolyn has died due to the virus. After that, Eva listens to the news and learns that the mysterious ash from the sky has infected millions of women, killing thousands of them around the globe. It is the HNV-21 virus that has been found in debris and has appeared to be the greatest of all pandemics, recording the highest mortality rate in history. Eva somehow keeps spending her days in quarantine with Will, and she comes to know about the embryo development program initiated by the government to ensure the repopulation of the world. Time keeps passing, and Eva gets tired of Will controlling her. She joins a secure chat with other women around the world. At first, the number of participants appears to be 135, but it keeps declining as time passes, and Eva tries to motivate them. Eva and Will continue to get into arguments more often, and Will tries to make her understand that he is not trying to control her, but that he is helping her. Will takes her phone, stating that she has been providing unnecessary information to others, and he cannot take any risks. On day 220 of the infection, only 14 participants are left in the chat group, and Eva feels very upset for the friends she has lost. The movie returns to the present day when Eva and Will are seen together in the woods, and Will reveals that he has a beer for her as a surprise. Eva and Will share sips of the beer, after which they decide to try shooting. Will attempts but fails to shoot the can, while Eva takes it easily. On the other hand, Arthur and Casey follow them and eventually find their car. They have been looking to catch Eva for the reward money they have been promised by the government. Casey punctures Will's car before going into the jungle. Meanwhile, at night, Eva and Will get much closer to each other when Eva's condition gets worse and she loses motor control. Will stays with her and helps her regain control. After that, we see the day when Will enters a pawn shop to get a gun, and when the shop owner shows him the heavy ones, Will gets a gun, revealing that he is getting the gun just for his self-defense. Will returns home and tells Eva that he is also sick of this, as he cannot even touch her, and mentions that he has brought a test kit so that they may know whether he is a carrier or not. Will tries the test, which indicates he is positive and a carrier to HNV-21. Will thanks God that Eva is still protected and states they are together, and that's all what they want. The next morning, Eva awakens and discovers that she has been bleeding from her ear, and when she gets up to go get water, she weakens and fails to handle the pot. After a while, Will wakes up, and when he screams Eva's name, he is stunned to see Arthur and Casey point their guns at him. Arthur questions him about who Eva is, and when Will tries to lie to them, Arthur binds him with the tree. Arthur is investigating Will about Eva, but Will screams and warns Eva not to return. Eva listens to his voice and notices that Will has been captured. As she attempts to run away, Arthur spots her and follows her. Eva manages to hide between giant rocks and gets rid of Arthur, but unfortunately she gets seizures and lies unconscious there. Later that night, Arthur is sitting next to Will, and he informs them that Eva is of no use to them as she is infected and will not survive much longer. Arthur pays no attention to him, and then he questions Will about how she has survived for so long as he tried his best to save his wife, but she did not last for more than a few weeks. Arthur mentions that he is doing this all for his son, because he thinks one day he will get his own family, and they need to repopulate, for which they require Eva's help. He adds that as Eva is going to die, they want her as soon as possible, as the eggs of a dead female don't last longer than 7 hours. Arthur walks away and awakens Casey for the shift. The scene shifts to the past, and Eva is left only with one more participant in the chat group, who informs her that she has also gotten bleeding and is leaving the group. She wishes the best for Eva, and despite being stopped by her, the woman leaves the group by dropping her picture, and Eva adds the picture to her room, revealing that the pictures soldiers found at the beginning were of Eva's friends in the chat group who died one by one. On the other hand, when Casey is on his shift, Eva arrives there naked and tricks the boy. When Casey is distracted, Eva hits a rock in his head and sets Will free. Will picks up Casey's gun and runs with Eva after shooting Arthur. Will also gets shot on the leg, but he escapes with Eva. As the movie switches to day 400 of the infection, Arthur receives a call from Eva's father. Will does not let Eva listen to his call on the cell phone, but she insists that he may be in an emergency as he knows the protocol to contact them. Will agrees but covers the camera and abides Eva from talking on phone. Eva is stunned to find her father in a miserable condition, and he cries, revealing that her mother has been taken away forcefully and that he was beaten by the soldiers when he tried to save her. He states that he is very sad about losing her mother, and now he wants to see her, upon which Eva loses her control and replies to him on the phone, but Will snatches the phone. Will mentions that he cannot let her do this as the soldiers will be there in 15 minutes after she talks to her father on the phone. Eva feels controlled, and Will tells her that he is trying to help her because he does not want her taken away from him like her mother has been. Eva does not understand anything and picks up the gun lying on the table. She points a gun at Will and asks him to leave, as she wants to see the sun and how it feels outside. Will calms her, stating that it's not her, but Eva forces him to leave. Will is leaving the apartment in a lab suit when he spots the ash outside. Subsequently, Eva is seen on the roof in her suit, and as she gets closer to the edge, Will arrives, and before he may stop her, she uncovers herself in the ash, and Will keeps crying, asking her what she has done. It explains how Eva got infected, despite all the care Will took of her. The scene shifts to the day when Eva and Will are together in the woods and finally find their waterfall. It is the same day that the movie began. Will then kisses Eva for the last time and keeps crying because he knows that Eva is going to die today. The movie ends when Eva is sitting with Will, and he captures his last picture with Eva on her camera. Thanks so much for watching the recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.